So today's episode is about cheating. Dun, 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 dun. And in coming up with a name for the episode, I was like, oh, I remember that nursery rhyme. Cheater, cheater, pumpkin eater, had a wife and couldn't keep her. And I didn't know the rest of the thing, but it says he put her in a pumpkin shell and there he kept her very well. I was like, what the fuck? The nursery rhymes from the ones that we know, they're like freaky. Like when you look at like the real meaning, they're like really fucked up. And this one is about murder, but it's about murder because of cheating. So basically, the wife that couldn't be kept in this rhyme is not that she ran away, is that she was supposedly a prostitute. She was a working woman, people. Trying to make ends meet, trying to bring money to the table. Yeah, so supposedly like he, killed her because she kept cheating on him.
The end.
The end. And he kept her in a pumpkin, which I don't know. I mean, I guess he murdered her. He cut her up into little pieces, and I don't know how the hell that happened.
Weird.
That is so weird.
Like an Edgar Allan Poe.
It must have been like a really big ass pumpkin, or he chopped her up really.
Like little prostitute mincemeat chopping. I don't know. What was that? That's nasty.
If somebody cheats on you, don't put her in a pumpkin.
Don't chop them up.
Don't chop them up. When I say if somebody's cheating on you, what do you consider cheating? It's so broad nowadays.
Well, the obvious is cheating, right?
But what is cheating?
You go and you.
What do you mean when you say the
hook
obvious?
Hook up with someone and you start having sex and all that kind of stuff. That's the obvious cheating, right?
So physical.
I think yes, but for me, cheating is also an emotional thing.
Yeah.
Because I think that once you start establishing daily contact with someone that is not an innocent form of contact, that eventually you know that you want something more with this person. Maybe that person may not know it at the time, but that you're engaging in that emotional connection, I think that's very dangerous. I think that ultimately leads to cheating, and I think that form is cheating.
I think that is cheating. I think to me that would be more hurtful than the actual act of exchange of bodily fluids.
To be honest, I think they're equally offensive and or hurtful to me.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that absolutely there's no percentage. I'm going to allocate X percentage of this to emotional cheating and X percentage. No. It's for me, it's the same.
But I think I would be. Then again, neither has happened to me in a solid relationship. So who knows if it would happen? I would probably react completely different. You have to be in that spot to know how you would react, and however you react, whatever, that's your deal. If you want to forgive him or forgive her and move on, that's, many people have said that finding out that their spouse was cheating and them working through problems actually make them stronger. Therapy is a great thing, so who knows? But I think I would be more inclined to forgive a partner if this cheating was, I don't know, multiple women and just like one night stands or whatever, then versus an emotional cheating. To me, that's more hurtful. But then again, I would have to be in that spot. So basically, I love Urban Dictionary because they break it down for you. So cheating, according to the Urban Dictionary, the definition is someone who is in a committed relationship and breaks the trust of his or her partner by getting physically or emotionally involved with another person. I think that's the key. It's breaking the trust and breaking the bond. And I think an emotional cheating is when you're sharing things that you're not sharing with your significant other or your supposed significant other, whether they're your goals or your dreams or your problems or your issues, especially when you're talking about your significant other with that person, that would be extremely hurtful. That would be like, I kind of think like impossible to just break, bounce back off.
Unfortunately, I've been a victim of emotional cheating. I can tell you that it's not fun.
No,
I don't think it really any kind of cheating is.
But no, absolutely.
But then I think men are just cowards. All right, let me just throw that out there, because if you are emotionally cheating with someone to ultimately get in their pants, which I think there's always an ulterior motive. No guy is going to start crying a river with some chick that ultimately he doesn't want to have something with. At the end of the day, what I think is cowardly is that you're using the person that you're with to get to that person.
That's true. Yeah.
That's bullshit. Mm-hmm. Especially when the person that you're involved with in a committed relationship with is not doing the things that you're claiming that this person is doing, so that you can ultimately get in the pants of somebody else.
Yeah. So you think that's the ultimate goal all the time?
Yeah. It's bullshit. Guys are full of shit.
Yeah. Deny that. That's the main thing. It just involves secrecy. According to experts, cheating involves at least one of these three elements: secrecy, emotional involvement, and sexual alchemy. According to Esther Perel, a PhD, she had a book. It's called "The State of Affairs: Rethinking Infidelity," and I think I agree with this. Cheating is usually defined less by a specific behavior and more by the element of deceit. When you are hiding something from your partner, whatever that is, because one of the cheating things we're going to go into in a minute is financial cheating. I think that's, there's many types of cheating. It's just the fact that you're hiding something from your significant other when everything should be, there should be no secrets between the two of you.
So then going back to that emotional cheating situation. So this person that I was involved with constantly lied about communication that he was having with someone else. And that falls under the deceit, right? Because if you're speaking to someone and it's no big deal, what's the point in lying about it? You this person from way back when. Hey, hi, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. The problem becomes when you're doing it every day, all day, and you're lying about it and you're being sneaky about it. Mm-hmm. That goes back to what I said. There's an ulterior motive that person wants to accomplish by doing that, right? You're just not hiding it because I'm not some crazy, over jealous person. Mm-hmm. And I think, may not want to tell the girlfriend or the wife or whatever. No, my friend from high school, I called her, she called me, and we're chatting, because then it just escalates to a different level of crazy. But
I think if it's innocent and if it's really a friend, I mean, I personally think men and women can't just be friends.
I think some can. I don't think all can.
Correct. But I think from the women's perspective, men and women can be friends. I don't know about the men's perspective. Maybe they don't think the same way. But if so-and-so, if, some guy was my friend, just my friend, like the song says, Friends, just friends.
They say he's just a friend.
If he's just a friend, then why doesn't, then I should feel totally fine introducing him to my significant other and, hey, we're going to grab a beer or grab food or, whatever. Like, it should be out in the open. Like, you shouldn't be sneaking away to text this person, or if your significant other sees you with your phone, and you're like hide it away because you're talking to the person, then that's not justified. That's something else. So I think that's when the cheating comes in, is like you're not being honest with your significant other about this person. When you're communicating with somebody, when it comes to like emotional cheating, it's not only the fact that you are talking to this person about your hopes and dreams and aspirations and even about your significant other, but also that your significant other does not know about this person that you're talking to, or this person that you're talking to might not know about your significant other. You're cheating, with both of them. You're committing,
Well, that goes back to what I was saying, that you're just being a sneak all around. You have this, motive, this, feel sorry for me conversations that ultimately lead to cheating, full-fledged cheating.
Is adultery? Well, I mean, it's not illegal here, right? Like in no states, it's like illegal in the sense that you can go to jail. Like adultery doesn't.
No, it is.
Where?
It is. I've read in certain states that adultery is illegal. Dare I say that even here, I think adultery is.
Well, Florida is a no-fault state, so.
Yeah, but I don't know that it applies to that. But I have read that certain states are very, stickler for adultery.
Because if so, then maybe there should be like premeditated adultery. Yeah. Right? Second degree adultery.
Yeah. Third degree with First 3 people adultery. 3 strikes, you're out adultery.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I have read that certain states do have a law. I mean, and even a law against living together without being married. I've read that too.
Well, there's crazy laws out here. I mean, really crazy laws. All cheating is not created equal. I think it all depends. It just depends on the person. I've known couples that the husband has cheated on the wife repeatedly, and she goes off on him on social media and this and that and blast him out and then ends up taking him back. So
why does that happen? I just think that people need to value themselves a little more and have more self-love. I mean, I get it. A woman that may not have an education, a good job, has a lot of kids, and basically the man has supported her all these years, and she feels she needs to hold on to that. But that's crap, man. Like, women need to snap out of it.
I think that happens in some situations, absolutely. But I don't know. Like, I've heard a lot of couples go to therapy and they work out through this, and there's definitely always an underlying issue, I think. Unless you're just, I don't know. I mean, it says so many things because you could say your state of your relationship, obviously, but I think if you're realistic with therapy and couples counseling, I think there's usually an underlying issue, and maybe that could be worked out. I don't know.
I don't know.
I've never been in that position.
That in
so
certain circumstances, there may be underlying issues, right? So I think those are very few and far between. But if you're married or you're in a relationship with somebody long term and they continuously cheat on you, that's their issue. Yeah. Okay, that's something that person
absolutely
needs to get over. And quite frankly, I don't think that will ever change if that continues to happen.
Once a cheater, always a cheater.
I mean, there has to come a point where you, as an individual, whether you're male or female, you have self-love. You have self-worth. You stand up for yourself and you say no more. And you walk away from that to something better.
Yeah. What is it? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me type of thing. No, I say like once a cheater, always a cheater. I know that's like the saying, but I don't know. I always think there's always a reason why people cheat. And it could be, again, just because you're not happy in that relationship, and then you might just end it and you're a coward for not being upfront with your significant other and saying, this isn't working out, I'm not happy. And, or there's underlying issues. And if you've cheated repeatedly on maybe that says something, it obviously says something about you and not necessarily your significant other. All cheating is not created equal. I agree with that. I think if you ask 10 people about what they consider cheating, you'll get a million responses. Obviously, emotional cheating, physical cheating. What about if you catch your significant other watching porn?
I don't care. I mean, I think that if you're learning from the porn, hey, I'm benefiting from the porn. So that's fine. But I think that if you are watching porn all day, every day, and we're not having sex,
well, yeah,
I have a problem with that.
Yeah, for sure. What about if you caught them pleasuring themselves? Would you consider that cheating?
No.
What if they were pleasuring themselves looking at a picture of somebody else other than you?
Well, hold on there, Sparky. It depends. Because if it's a famous person, and I know this is twisted because, like, what are the chances that you're really
That was my next thing. What if it was a celebrity or or a magazine,
Like, if you're looking at a hot chick in a porn magazine or, Playboy Hustler, whatever the hell there is out there now, I don't know. I don't care. If you're looking at some famous chick,
no problem. If they're not caught, this is what a man will probably say. Honey, I'm just saving the sperm. I'm just saving the sperm. Just creating some sperm. Especially if you're trying to have a baby. It's like, last time I checked, we're not a medical facility. Asshole. So it's not like we can put it in the fridge.
Yeah, no. Hello, sperm dies within a certain amount of time that it doesn't work.
Yeah. Where's the cup? Huh?
So, no, I don't care about those things. But if you're looking up some chick who's your friend on Facebook, and you have that open, You have issues, buddy, and I'm gonna be.
You have issues with me, buddy.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be the one to solve them.
Yeah.
Kick your ass to the curb.
Yeah.
Because that ain't happening.
We will switch that to Facebook Live.
Yes. Now to the videotape.
So, what about? Remember those things on like Real Sex episodes? I wonder if they still give those. That was like on HBO, right? That was so interesting. Yeah. I like those things. You learn a lot. But you remember the episode about the dolls, the sex dolls? They cost like up to like $3,000 or something, and you can design them, and they supposedly feel very real, like silicone, like the texture and everything, and you can design everything from like whatever color hair you want them to eye color to like the nipple size and the nipple color and all that stuff. But they have like male dolls too, so. Equal opportunity employer.
I'm sure the female dolls sell out more than the male dolls.
Probably.
For some reason.
Probably. You know why? Like some men are saying, there's this new thing now with not only the sex dolls, but sex robots. Have you heard about the sex robots?
I have not. I have not. And they're called sex bots?
Well, they're calling them like, sex bots. Supposedly, these robots are so they're programmed to not only receive your commands, as in faster, slower, put your finger there type of commands.
Why can't you do that with a real person, people? It's cheaper.
Well, I don't know. Is it cheaper?
It's cheaper.
It's probably cheaper to get, but I don't know about cheaper to maintain. That'll probably be like the male argument.
To support somebody that's alive. Thank you. As opposed to a dead doll.
Yeah, I mean, people, we want to eat, we want to be taken out to eat. So these robots supposedly not only can receive commands, but they can talk. They can tell you, how they want it, apparently. Obviously, pre-programmed responses, but that's what's going on nowadays. And there's an issue now because they actually want to open a sex bot brothel in Houston, Texas. Like an actual, can you believe that?
What has this world come to?
I think.
Whatever happened to real women? I don't know. I don't know.
Whatever happened to real men?
I guess maybe they want to diversify. So I guess diversifying is always a good thing. I don't know.
What do you mean diversify?
Diversify. You have real women, then you have robots, then you have these sex bots. I don't know. I mean,
diversify the whole like stick it into. I don't know.
Yeah, diversify your selection. I don't know.
Your selection, yeah, creating more selection. That's for sure. I tend to think of like, okay, the cons and the pros. I mean, the pros, I guess less.
Did you say condom?
No. No, but that's kind of like where I'm going. Like, the pros, it's safer. There's less, there's like less exposure to disease, obviously. But some of these dolls, like if you buy the doll, whatever, that's your doll. But if you go to like these sex brothels, these are like renting. So it's like.
Is this like a video game? Like when you're tired of the doll, you go to like GameStop and you sell it, and you're like, I want to trade it. I want to upgrade.
Play it again.
Can I upgrade? And here's my doll. Yeah. I'm switch it for something else.
Instead of play it again, it's like fuck it again. Play it again, Sam. No, but it's like that's so gross. Like, what do they do? Like how do they clean it? How do they sanitize? Like, I think men should still wear condoms.
Different area of, I don't know.
Yeah. So this is so Houston obviously is not in agreement with this, so I don't know what's going to end up happening there, but Houston is saying we're not Sin City, we're not Vegas, you can just go somewhere else, and people are like just like up in arms. I think another pro of this thing is men tend you can live out your fantasies. I guess sex with a doll or sex with a robot is better than no sex, but then again, I agree with just watch porn or just, pleasure yourself somewhere else, in another way. I don't know why you need to go to these lengths. It's another way to live out your fantasies. If you have like a really creepy fantasy, I'd rather you do it with a doll than try it with a live woman. The dolls are more flexible if you want to try some position before you injure yourself or you injure your significant other. Maybe that's a way of like testing it out. Like, I don't know. Just what I'm thinking.
I don't know. I think if you want to experiment and you want to explore certain things, that's wonderful. But I think that if you are consistently using a doll, you have an issue. Again, just like with the porn, if you're constantly on porn, people, and you're not having sex with your significant other, there's an underlying, overlying, sideways lying issue.
Yeah. Well, even if you don't have a significant other, like if you're constantly doing that and you're not putting yourself out there for like real emotional connection, that's going to make it harder and harder and harder and harder to connect with somebody if you just resort to this sort of stuff all the time for years and years and years. It's just going to be a time that you just shut off and you become numb to like actual, human connection. But we've seen it in movies, like that movie Her with, Joaquin Phoenix falling in love with this.
That was so weird.
What was it called? The computer system? What was it called? What's that called? The social media that he falls in love with, just the voice. But that's an emotional connection more so than just physically cheating.
That happens online too. When you have people that are initially communicating with each other, they haven't even spoken, and they're establishing an emotional connection through the writing. The feelings that are being exuded from the conversation or whatever it is that you're going through. So I mean, there's all forms of cheating. My opinion.
Yeah, I think there's just such a void of actual human connection and human contact, and like a deep, really, not just swiping left and right, but an actual connection, an actual give and take. That whenever you have just the inkling of that happening with writing to somebody and speaking to somebody, even before you know what they look like, because sometimes you build up on this thing and then you meet the person, you're like, well, it kind of goes away when the attraction is not there, the physical attraction. That's happened to me, and that immediately goes away.
Well, it's funny that you said that because I know someone, not directly but indirectly, that was on social media and met her now husband online, had never seen him, and he didn't see her, and they established this communication for a while, and she was actually very afraid to see what he looked like.
Yeah, because then it's like,
because she didn't want to be disappointed by the fantasy and the illusions that are created through this romantic writing and the feelings that you experience from it, etc. But then, after a while, hello people, you have to meet, right? That's the problem with social media and all this technology that we have now. People hung up on texting and nobody picks up a phone. And
and you're putting pictures that don't look like you.
Yeah, what do they call that?
Well, that's not really catfishing. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, that's like, isn't that catfish?
Well,
when
no.
You're putting pictures that aren't you?
Yeah, but catfishing is like a little bit more than that. Like catfishing is like you never meet the person. Like they never want to meet you. They're always like, creating excuses and this and that. And some of them, they really take advantage of you financially. Like, that's like a little bit more.
So let's just say it's the first stage of catfish. It's like the.
No, because one thing is like, everybody puts their best picture, the best looking pictures online, when you're on your online dating profile. Most, everybody, you never look exactly the same in every picture. There's different angles and lighting and whatever, but catfishing is like when you put like that this is not you at all. You create a completely fake profile, and sometimes using the profile of somebody else that is really, a real person that has a real profile. So you end up falling for a completely different person, Sometimes they're not even they might be even the same sex or, it happens. Yeah.
There's even a show on that. It's crazy. But
there was a movie.
The good
because it happened to the guy, that's why. Sorry. But that's why he did it,
Interesting.
Interesting.
The good thing about that story is that they ended up meeting and they experienced
there was something
the same
real there.
level of intensity as when they were writing to each other, and they got married. So that's a happily ever after story,
I think you gotta just take chances. I mean, if it's really there, then whatever, you just try.
I think people need to be open to. There's so many scars that everybody has, and there's so many reservations on opening up that that's why the world is as effed up as it is, because people are just not being honest. They're not putting themselves out there in the best light possible. And there's too many games.
Yeah. There's too many players. Yeah. Another one of those, the thing with the dolls and stuff like that is like I was saying, that you eventually shut off emotionally, and it's harder and harder to build an actual connection. Remember that movie? Did you ever see that movie, Lars and the Real Girl? I love that movie. It's such a good movie. It's with the really cute guy. What's his name?
So many.
The one that's married to Eva Mendes that has the two little girls.
Oh, he's a cutie patootie.
Well, he's in this movie, Lars and the Real Girl. I love that movie. I've watched it several times. And he has like some emotional, he's been shut down emotionally. I think like his mom died or something like that. And he gets this doll, like he orders this doll. And I think her name is Bianca in the movie. But he doesn't have sex with the doll. It's just a companion. But he dresses her and like builds a relationship. Everybody in the town, because it's a small town, accepts it, as it is, because everybody knows like his deal and whatnot. But little by little, he starts opening up to people in the community, to like, I think it's like his sister, like everybody. He starts going to a therapist, and he actually meets a girl. He kind of like opens up to the girl, and eventually he kills in quotation the doll. Like he takes her to the therapist, and he takes her to the hospital because supposedly there's something wrong with the doll. And eventually the doll dies, again, quote unquote. And the therapist is like, well, that's his way of like ending this. Like he's ready for like something real. And it's such a good movie. Like I highly recommend it, because it really shows you.
Well, it sounds a little bit crazy, but I guess I'll watch it.
No, but it's really interesting, and it's very sweet.
I like that it gets him to the point where he needs to be.
Yeah.
To be reintroduced into society and live your life.
That was his way of like easing into it, like this person, this doll, quote unquote, dies, and he like, drowns her or whatever.
Oh, lovely.
And then he's able to like have something real with like, the girl that's like, his equal, it's like,
I hope he doesn't
really
go back
sweet.
to pumpkin, Peter, pumpkin eater.
No, he's not a cheater, pumpkin eater.
Drowns this chick.
Yeah. Well, going back to like the dolls and the sex, the sex bots and everything, like women might be like open arms, like, oh my God, like what is this world coming to? But I kind of understand the men. Like women say, the men say women have had sex toys for over 50 years. It's our time. Because men don't really have like sex toys. We have a lot. We have a lot of options out there. What do they have?
They have those things that they put on their penises that it's like a vibrator thing. They have all sorts of things. Yeah, they do. It's equal opportunity.
That might be the only thing they have, though. I think women have more options.
I'm sure. Well, if you're a gay man, you can jump on the woman's bandwagon of all her paraphernalia. But if you are a straight guy, I'm sure they have tons of stuff.
I think most heterosexual men don't own any sex toy for them.
Plus, I think too that a lot of these heterosexual men let their machismo get in the way, and they're like, "Oh no, I'm Mr. Big Macho Man. I don't need a toy. I don't need this. My stuff is good enough. Like, why do I need to use something else?" I mean, a lot of men think that way, which I think is very close-minded. Open up, people.
I think if you're a single heterosexual guy and you're not getting any, like, expand your knowledge and go to a sex toy,
Like, don't they have those, like, latex or plastic vaginas for men? They have that.
Just a vagina?
Yeah. I've seen that. I saw that on that HBO Real Sex thing.
Oh, I don't know.
Many moons ago.
It doesn't come attached to the rest of the body like the sex doll?
No, they have like these plastic latex vaginas. They have little fuzzy vibrator things for their penises.
The cock ring or something like that? Is that what
they have that too. No, but they have this little thing that vibrates. I don't know. I know you people have options.
We will get to that in an episode. We'll talk about
there's choices. There's
choices. Yes. They claim that with these dolls, like, prostitution is going to be obsolete. I don't.
Negative.
That's never going to happen. This is the oldest profession, and it's going to be there
when
cockroaches
sold. If that was an IPO, I would be on that shit like white on right.
Everybody
I would be investing on that. Like you have nobody's business.
Yes, I would. What would be the name? PST. Oh my God, no way. Like that's never gonna be, because again, we want the human connection. It's not the same. It's not the same as a doll. It's just never the same, to feel the skin of somebody else, and it's just
and
nothing's gonna beat that.
I'm not saying that I'm advocating,
I think you are. I think you are.
For men to go and find prostitutes. That's not what I'm saying, people. And if you are looking for a prostitute, please wear a condom. I mean,
and women wear a condom too.
Yeah.
But so that's what we think of cheating. But what about what experts think of cheating? What do you think?
Well, experts think that being physically intimate with someone outside of the relationship could be cheating. But if you have an open relationship, how open really is that relationship? And what are you accepting from that openness so that it is not cheating?
What are you accepting and what are you taking?
Yeah, I'm not accepting anything, okay? Because I don't believe in that open relationship crap.
Yeah.
It's like, no. I'm not one of those, you can go have sex with, 3 people, 50 people if you want. I just don't want to find out about it, and I'm okay with it. I'm not into that.
But then that's the thing. Like some open marriages, when we say open marriages, it's not, I've never spoken to somebody that has an open marriage, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're free to do the nasty with anybody that fancies you or whatever. They might have a day of the week that they can do it, a day of the month. They might do it, we'll do this every 3 months, every 6 months. We'll do this on our anniversary, whatever.
They have restrictions and they have their conditions. But what about swingers?
Well, I think that's different. I think that would be like another category. I remember from the Real Sex episodes that used to have one of those. That they're like, it's not natural. It's not natural to be with one person forever. And then they would have these parties, crazy parties, basically orgies,
Yeah.
But yeah, some open marriages are you can get to sleep, but what if it's a typical marriage, like man and woman? There might be some restrictions, the men might say to the woman, you can only have sex with a woman.
Yeah.
The woman might say you can only have sex with a woman. The woman might tell the guy. Or there might be somebody that's off hands, like an ex or something that that your significant other has a connection with, or this person is off limits. If I ever catch you, if I ever hear of you having sex with this person, this is over.
It's so weird. It's so weird listening to this because you're allowing the cheating, but it has conditions.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
People,
to me anyway. I know that other people are just very free, very open to everything.
Yeah.
So, but it's still not. When you really think about it, if you're allowing this to happen, then there should be no rules, really, because you're allowing it to happen. Why you're still limiting the person. If you have the firm belief that you can't be monogamous because it's not human nature to be monogamous.
Yeah.
And that you're limiting yourself and or someone else. In reality, by doing this, you're limiting it as well. You're putting restrictions and conditions on something that you claim that you're okay with.
Yeah. I think
you're a hypocrite.
There's a part of you that's it's not okay with it.
Yeah, that's being a hypocrite. Yeah. Either you're all in or you're all out.
Yeah. I saw this movie, a Lifetime movie.
It's like Seinfeld. I'm out.
Get out. I saw this Lifetime movie not too long ago that it was all about just different types of relationships. And one of them was a couple, a woman and a man, who occasionally had threesomes. The threesome, the third person, was always a woman. Okay? So one time the woman brought a guy to the threesome and the husband was not having it. And the husband was no way. And I think they ended up getting a divorce in the movie. Because it was oh really? you're okay with being, having another woman in her bed, but not,
he can have all the benefits, but she can't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which kind of goes into.
And she was like, "Oh no, but he's open." Like talking to her friends, like, "Oh no, he's open. We do this all the time." I'm gonna like, the guy was like, "Hell no."
I kind of guess that segues into Hispanic men and women.
Oh, that will never happen. That will never happen in a Hispanic
marriage. You're gonna get stabbed.
No way.
In some form or another.
I think
because a Hispanic guy is not going to be about being like, yeah, you can go have sex with another guy.
Ever. And most Hispanic men, I would think, I don't know, maybe they do fantasize. I think everybody fantasizes about, a third person, especially like a man.
I'm sure,
I think always fantasizes about a woman,
a liar or none. Because you can't even say a priest because that's a whole nother episode.
So yeah, it in the Hispanic culture, you know how the gringos are always like, "Oh, I'm gonna get together with my ex from high school, my high school sweetheart that he's in town, and we're just gonna like catch up or whatever." And that wouldn't happen in the Hispanic culture. They'll be like,
no.
Oh, I think I would be okay with that.
The thing is that I've never done, like, I've had relationships where I have really good guy friends that I swear on baby Jesus that I've never had anything with. And,
watch out for the thunder.
Yeah, no, this is true. But I've never told a boyfriend, like, I'm gonna get together with an ex. No, that I haven't done. That I don't go for. That's not
but happening. I mean, you mean that you haven't told them and you did it, or
no? I've never done it. I've never done that because I don't think that you should do that. I think that to me is not happening.
Yeah, to me, an ex is an ex for a reason.
Yeah, you don't just go and have lunch with your ex. No.
I mean, I think I'm friendly with just one ex. That's the only person that I'm like really, good friends with.
I've never really maintained a friendship with any ex-boyfriends. I mean, I try to end things as amicably as possible.
Yeah.
But I don't make it a point to be friendly with any of them.
No, neither have I. But it's been like very natural, very organic. It's not that we get together. We rarely speak. But if we were to have lunch or whatever, like I would see. Yeah. I don't think that would be an issue.
I have had really, really good guy friends that I have gotten into little fights with my then boyfriend about, where they wanted me to end that friendship, and that I have not done. I will not end a friendship with someone that I had prior to getting involved with you. Mm-hmm. Just because you're insecure or what have you, there has to be a certain level of trust, and I'm not doing anything, and I'm being on the up and up, letting you know about this guy friend, and if I talk to him or if we have lunch or whatever.
Yeah,
I think.
But your significant other at the time knew that was that you were, with this person. Like I'm gonna, I'm just gonna grab a coffee or whatever.
They both knew about each other. Okay. This person that was my friend was in my life for many, many years.
But this this person, this friend, was he an ex or no?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. That's what I was saying before. I don't maintain the friendship like that with exes, and I've never, been with anybody and maintained a friendly ex relationship.
Yeah, like friendly, like getting together every once in a while.
And get together and go out and not tell my significant other at the time that I'm going out with the sex. Like,
what if your significant other has a similar relationship with a girl? Would you be okay with that?
I would be fine with that. As long as I'm aware of it, as long as I've met this person, and, that's fine. As long as, if you're not hiding anything for the most part, then it should be kosher. I know that there are people that it's so una vida del carajo, regardless. They'll introduce you to somebody that they're having sex with. That happens.
Oh my God.
And they lie about it.
Yeah, I tend to think if you're not open with your partner, I'm having dinner or grabbing a cup of coffee with so and so, as long as they know that person, if it's, then you've got something to hide. And I think I know a lot of couples in my family that they don't let their significant other hang out with, like, you know, like the wife is like, no, he can't go out with his friends to a bar or whatever, because then they're gonna, you know, something's gonna happen. And then they limit themselves too by, you know, they don't go out with like their girlfriends and stuff, because then that gives them a chance for the husband to do the same thing. And I just always think, if they want to cheat on you, they'll cheat on you on Tuesday at, you know, at 3 p.m. It's like, whatever. Somebody wants to cheat on you, or if you want to cheat on somebody, you will find a way. You will make it happen. Because at the end of the day, it only takes, like, you know, 5 minutes. So it's not like everybody got 5 minutes to spare.
I was watching this movie where the guy was like, oh no, because you know, guys are normally done in like 4.5 minutes or something. I'm like, oh my god, that's sad. I was like, who are you with? Who are you hooking up with?
Everybody has a lunch hour. Just think about that, you know? Yeah. Everybody has a car. There's always a bathroom. There's always a car. There's always a parking garage. Like, people, you know, if somebody wants to cheat on you, they will find a way, and vice versa.
Yes.
And if you're married, that doesn't stop anybody from nothing.
No, actually. So, to add to that, I recently had, what would you call it? An encounter. A close encounter, not. Anyway.
Encounters of
the not kind. So I had someone approach me recently, but, you know, for like a few months, he's been giving me like these googly
Somebody
eyes.
who's married, by the way.
Yes, married.
With 3 kids.
With 3 kids.
Yes.
It has been giving me like this, you know, the love googly eye look and all this stuff, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Mind you, as far as I know, I've done nothing to contribute to this. So, he's like, no, you work so much. And I'm like, yeah, because I got to work. I have to support myself. I have to support my child. You know, I'm a single mom. I have to do it. And he's like, no, I can support you. I was like, what? What are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, I'll support you. I'll pay for your stuff and all this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You're married. You have 3 kids. Are you out of your mind? And he just looked at me. He's like, no, because, you know, I'm married, but...
Why is that in Spanish?
He's like, no, don't you know that there's this Cuban saying? And I'm like, no, because I'm gringo. And he goes, yes, estoy casado, pero no capado. And I almost had a heart attack. I was like...
Damn.
And I looked at him and I'm like, wow, that's a new one. I've never heard that one before.
Basically means like, I'm married, but I'm not neutered.
Yeah. Well, apparently you need to be. So,
we need to do some Lorena Bobbitt shit on that.
Yeah,
you know?
No, and even he found the piece of his penis and it got sewn back together, but whatever. It's like Humpty Dumpty. So, I said to him that he was nuts and that he was so fresh, and I walked away from him. But this is a person that I have to deal with, not on the daily, but I have to see this person often. And it just puts you in such a bad predicament. If I was a different person, I would have been like, yeah, this guy's going to pay my bills and, you know, he's going to come, and I would take full advantage of it. But luckily for this man's wife, I am not one of those.
Can you imagine? I'm sure he, you know, who knows how many things he's told other people. And he goes around
doing that to everybody, I'm sure.
Oh my God, that's so disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So that's not the only story I have, people. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, I have more stories, which I will save for other times.
Other episodes.
Yes.
So another type of cheating is fantasizing about someone else, which is like, how the hell?
I don't think that's cheating.
You know?
I don't think that's cheating if it's somebody that is famous.
Yeah.
Somebody that's in a porn movie and a magazine. Yeah. But if you're fantasizing about your little girly friends on Facebook or Instagram or
somebody
whatever,
that you see on a daily basis.
Yes. Then I have
your coworker or whatever, that's not great. They say, this is what experts say, which like,
because I think William Levy is freaking hot.
Yeah. But okay, this is what they say. As long fantasizing about somebody else is fine, as long as you tell your significant other. Who the hell's gonna take their significant other?
Come on now.
Oh, by the way, tonight I'm gonna think about so and so.
No, like, you're gonna get stabbed. I'm like, what? You're on top of me and you're thinking about? Oh hell no!
Like,
get off!
No. People keep those. I think you should.
Off right
I think
now.
You should keep that to yourself.
That's like traffic. Keep it moving, people. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep
going. But then again, even if it's like normal, like whatever, to think about somebody else. If you're thinking about somebody else, whoever that is, every single time you're with your significant other, that's a telltale sign that there's something lacking. Because come on, this can happen every single time. So, I don't know.
I don't know what expert that is, but don't go to that one for therapy.
Financial cheating is another way of cheating on your partner. It really has to do with, deceit and hiding money and hiding where you're spending your money.
I think that should be a separate episode, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I think when
we can talk about it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, when that's a whole different issue.
One thing is a little bit about mad money, keeping a little separate account for whatever you want to spend. But when you're really, really hiding money, really hoarding money, keeping money, keeping like.
But and that the person that you're with unknowingly is being put into tremendous debt, because there's a lot of married couples that have joint credit cards and it's all hidden. Yeah. The spouse will hide the statements. The spouse will create different accounts.
Aside from financial cheating, another one is social media habits, which, oh my God, that's the new thing now. I mean, it's
bad.
Oh man, there's two types of social media cheating, supposedly. The first one is when you're being overtly sexual with, if you're lusting after somebody that follows you, or somebody that you want to follow, that you follow, and you're constantly checking their page and you're all fantasizing about them, or you're communicating with them, that's one type. And then another type of social media cheating is when you're just constantly on social media or constantly on your phone, even when you're with your significant other. You're not connecting.
Right.
And I see that all the time. I see couples, they're in front of each other, not looking, not talking to each other. They're just on their phones. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Isn't it amazing how you go to restaurants
my God.
and people don't even talk to each other? They're on their phones.
Yeah.
I look at them and I'm like, that relationship is doomed.
Even more than two people. I've seen a table of four people. Terrible. And all four of them are constantly on their phone. I'm like, Jesus.
It's terrible.
It's so
Before
sad.
It used to be, you sit at the table with this person and then you wander off and you're looking at other people and you're really not even talking to each other. Now it's I talk to you nothing and I'm always on my phone.
I remember when I first got my iPhone, especially. I told my friend I was letting her hey, I got my iPhone. She's like, oh my God, girl, you're gonna love it. You're never gonna be by yourself. And It's so true. It's so true, because you always feel. I mean, think about it. Whenever you're in a place that you don't know anybody, you immediately go to your phone. If you're on a bus, if you're on a train, you don't even bother to, talk to the next person. Not even small conversation. Hey, the weather, what time is it, and whatever. You just immediately grab that phone, and that's your companion for that thing. It's it's like an excuse. You don't need to talk to anybody. Nobody gets to bother me.
I've never heard that before, but it's so accurate.
That's so true.
It really is. And it's funny because many times I don't use my phone because I'm not always on my phone, and I purposely at times start conversations with people, and they don't know what to do with themselves.
Yeah,
it's very. A lot of people have lost the form of communication and how to communicate the topics. Yeah. How to keep a conversation going.
Well, I get that all the time. When I used to, I'm not on online dating anything right now. But when I used to be, I would get that from guys all the time. Oh my God, you're so real. You can hold up a conversation. I'm like, oh my God, it's just conversation 101.
That goes back to the other episode that we did on you're so sexy if you can keep a conversation.
Yeah.
That should be one of the topics. You're so hot because you can talk.
You can have an actual conversation and not texting, and not just talking emojis. Going off the social media thing, Facebook has been listed as more and more one of the reasons for divorce, which is so sad. I mean, attorneys are actually listing this. I mean, Floyd doesn't know Cal State, but they list Facebook and social media as a cause for divorces. Because you contact, so-and-so who used to like your crush or whatever, or you meet somebody brand new on social media, and you build up a rapport and a relationship with these people. And it's like so easy to
People make all your pages super private if you don't want your social media to be part of your discovery proceeding in your divorce and or any other type of lawsuit. I'm telling you because I know it. We get it. If it's out there, we'll find it.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm a paralegal, and we even including that on like releases and stuff, especially when there's like a confidentiality clause and stuff. You list that not to be discussed, not to be discussed or posted like on Facebook, Instagram, blah 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 blah. And we have actually found people too because of the social media.
That's what I'm saying. It's all part of
it's the root of all evil.
So you have somebody. This is totally off topic. You have somebody that claims they're disabled and yet they're dancing up a storm and shaking a fast, drinking on social media. Bam, there goes your case.
So in 2012, in the UK, they surveyed, British lawyers, and they're saying that 1 out of 3 divorces list social media as, as the reason for their divorces. I know plenty of people that have met through not even social media, not even Facebook, like Instagram. That's like, it's just.
But you mean that they're cheating?
No, like an actual relationship, like they've met, Yeah, forget about, cheating. That's obviously there, but.
Well, because you have people too that go on other people's friends list.
It's like another type of like online dating now. Like social media has become like an extension of online dating sites. You like somebody and their friend requests you and whatever, you take it from there, What about ways that you can tell that somebody is cheating on you?
Oh, I could tell. But I'm smarter than that, and I will not be divulging that to anyone. I keep my secrets.
I think we definitely have a sixth sense. I consider myself a very intuitive person, and I can smell bullshit from 10 miles away.
Ditto.
Yeah. So these are some of the signs, especially if it's happening if it's happening, period. But if they are chuckling or smirking when they look at their phones and they're not letting you in on it, well, hello, that would be like so insulting.
This is according to an expert, by the way.
And not only cheating like in romantic relationships, but I would find that so rude. Like if it's just a friend, like if it's constantly going on. It's like, that's just rude.
Well, first of all, if your significant other is doing that to you all the time and you say nothing, then it's
shame
on you.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be putting up with that. And what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
From the get,
If they become physically possessive about their phones, like when they can't even go to the bathroom without their phones. But there's people that have, more than one phone too. Remember?
I've heard of that.
Remember Eva Longoria, the first husband that she had, the French basketball player? He had a completely different phone.
Scandalous.
And she found the second phone.
And I've heard that from non-famous people too.
Yeah.
So it's so scandalous.
A lot of people have
the lengths that people go to. Wow, it's like really sneaky.
Yeah. If they're getting texts during all hours of the day, hello, even at nighttime,
Yes.
If you see they're using their phones but are quick to put it away or hide it away from you when you quote unquote catch them, obviously there's something there. If you see people commenting on their Facebook page that it seems to be like, inside jokes, and you have no idea what they're talking about and it keeps happening, especially I would imagine if it's somebody from the opposite sex, or oh my God, I would be so pissed. Like, what is this? What does this mean?
Yes.
He gets defensive or she gets defensive about how much time they spend on the phone, or even tries to accuse you of the bad behavior. Like if somebody's, you tell them like, hey, you're like, you're always on your phone, and they're like, well, you're always on your phone too, and blah, 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 blah. That's projection.
Yeah.
Somebody's
That's flipping
projecting.
the script, people.
Flipping it on you. What
Flip
about the password? Because I would add that. What if, do you think you should have each other's password? Do you think you should have?
No. I don't want him having my password.
Why not? If you have nothing to hide.
Because that's my personal phone. I don't need nobody having my password. You should trust me. I don't ask for your password.
So you wouldn't.
But I always find out the password, so it doesn't matter. Like, I don't need to ask you what your password is. I already know.
Oh my God.
And at the end of the day, look, if somebody's giving you cause for doubt, then you talk about it. Depending on how they react, that's how you proceed. Your next steps, you take your next steps. Women, we are very, very intuitive, number one. We're very smart, number two, even though we may act dumb. Number three, don't ever think for a second. We don't know what your passwords. Yeah. We don't know what's up. We didn't see the chick before you did. Come on now. Don't underestimate the powers of a woman.
Definitely never underestimate the power and the intuition of a woman. What's that saying goes? Like, hell has no fury, like a woman scorned. Absolutely. So, in closing, people, temptations are always going to rear their ugly head. Always. You have to make a choice, and whenever I think in a relationship, it's not about temptation that's always going to be there. It's about making the choice to be committed to your significant other. And it's, it's a partnership. But you always have the power to make that choice. No one cheats if they're happy in their current relationship. Cheating is an option, but it's just one of many options. So make the right choice and wear a rubber.
Yes. So if you find yourself that you have to cheat, I think you really need to analyze a lot of issues going on, not only perhaps with yourself, but in your relationship. And a lot of people just cheat because they don't want to deal with the situation. So deal with it. Yeah. Make the right choice. If you're feeling that you need to cheat because there's a lot of things going on, one of which is that you're not happy, let the person be. Go on your merry way. Go have sex with 20,000 people.
Unmarried way.
Yes, unmarried. Like, you don't have to tell me that you're married but not neutered. I mean, come on, people. Like, just go and
neuter thyself. Yeah. Spay yourself.
Go, break up with whoever, get a divorce. Yeah. I don't know. Just go.
Or maybe
happy.
You're just bored. Pick up a hobby. I don't know. Pick up a book. I don't know.
Or a doll. I don't know.
Or a robot. All right, people. Thank you for listening. Have a great week. Hasta la bye-bye. Say bye. Bye.
Hi, everyone. We're on YouTube, Google Play Music, Spotify, Radio Public. Remember, share, like, and subscribe.